Sure. Jürgen, first of all, I just wanted to start with the really sad news yesterday about the passing of Gerard Houllier. Thankfully, tomorrow's fans are allowed in the stadium, so it would be nice for them to be able to pay their tribute. So I just wondered as well what memories you have of Gerard.
Only the best. Met him a few times. Since I'm at Liverpool, we were in contact. He texted a lot of times. Very, very supportive man. Great coach, and even better human being. So, very warm personality. Big miss for his family, 100%, for his friends, but for us, for Liverpool as well. True legend of this club.
It's a big occasion tomorrow night as well. It's, I suppose, the kind of occasion that Gerard would relish. Two sides, top of the table, tied for points like that.
Definitely. And yesterday when I went out here, so what he would have loved to see 100%, especially would be our new training ground, because he was very influential in the rebuild and modernizing of Melwood. And during the construction work here, we were in contact, and he asked me how it will be, stuff like this. So he would have loved to see that. Sadly, he cannot see that, or not from here at least. And yes, tomorrow night I'm pretty sure our supporters will pay tribute in a appropriate way.
We have Joe Matip available, Jürgen.
Don't know yet. Only 2 days ago we played. He left the pitch with back spasm. The physios work pretty much 24 hours on him. So we will see. As today we have another session, and then we will see.
I just want to ask you one final thing, Jürgen. It's aside from the game as well. On Thursday, Premier League clubs get to meet again, and I just wonder how hopeful you are that those clubs, like yourselves, that are pushing for 5 substitutes, will get another vote and ultimately be able to persuade the clubs against that to vote in favour of 5 substitutes, and also what importance you put on the introduction of concussion substitutes in the new year as well.
Wow. You use your 3 questions, or how many you had. Yeah, I think I pretty much said everything about it, and I don't think, as long as nobody's really, sometimes it feels like I'm the only voice for it. I don't know. I know a lot of people in English football who think exactly the same. You, as journalists, are not very supportive. You are not really interested. You just write what we say instead of building your own opinion. That's the truth. And so there are a few clubs. They can make the decision. It's not. I read at one point that the league decided together on that. That's not true. It was the first vote in the summer was 11-10 against it. So that's not everybody decided for it. But I have obviously no influence on that. So I hope still that it will happen. I don't have in a moment probably enough subs to make 5 substitutions, but. It's, how I said from the beginning, it's not about us. It's in general it would be the right decision, but it's not my decision, and so I cannot say anything about it. But as long as it's not done, then I still hope, of course, for the players, by the way.
Yeah. Mandy, Premier League Productions.
Hi Jürgen, Jose Mourinho's won so much in the game. Does it surprise you that people seem to always want to try to write him off as they did when he left Old Trafford? And how impressed have you been with the way that his side has started this season?
I'm not surprised, because that's the world we are living in. That's how it is. You are very successful until yesterday, probably. If you cannot prove that today, then people go for you. That's how it is. I'm not sure. I don't think he was surprised. But he showed, obviously, comeback, if it was a comeback, I don't know, skills. Very impressive what he did now at Tottenham. The way they play this year is really good. Yes, he turned them into a result machine. That's how it is. They got results. They have good performances. If they are not on their top, then they still win. They defend collectively. All this kind of stuff. So very impressive.
Only 6 points separate separate the top 9 sides in the table at the moment, could this be one of the closest title races we've seen, going by what you've seen so far?
It looks like, yeah. It looks like, but I don't know how it will be in February, March, April, May. I don't know. But in the moment, it looks like a lot of really, there are always good teams in the league, but some of the teams have run this year, obviously not so much, and that keeps us all together. So nice for the people.
Okay, we've now got Ian Kennedy, followed by Carl Markham, followed by Ian from TalkSport, and that will be it for the Open as it stands. But Ian Kennedy from BBC Merseyside.
Hi Jürgen, just on Tottenham's threat, which obviously is a big threat with Son and Harry Kane. I think they've combined for 12 goals this season, so keeping them quiet is obviously going to be a big priority.
Yeah, but then unfortunately, if you keep them quiet, there are still a lot of really, really good players. So how is that? That's now a proper team there with threats from a lot of areas on the pitch. Bergwijn plays an important role, especially in their counter-attacking moments. With Ndombele needed probably a little bit longer to really settle it at Tottenham, but is now 100% there. Shares a little bit of job with Lo Celso, Sissoko. So Højbjerg, that's a proper unit together there in the midfield, and the last line obviously works pretty well together, and on top of that, with Laurie is a top-class goalie. So that's the team, and with Gareth Bale, I think he was ill, if I'm right, the last game. If he's fit again, then another threat, and all the other guys there. So it's, they're doing well. And yes, of course, Harry Kane in all times when you play at Tottenham, it was always clear you have to make sure that he's not too much involved in the game, but it's difficult. And with Son, it's the same. So and the work relationship they have, obviously in a moment, it clicked properly. So a lot of good things to say about Tottenham. That's how it is. And yeah. In the end, we still thought we try to play them and try to win the game, even when they are in a really good moment.
Yeah, and you've had some great battles with them over the years. Your first game in charge of Liverpool was away at Tottenham, and interestingly, 5 of their starting lineup that day are still at the club, plus 2 of the substitutes. So there seems to be a fair amount of continuity at Tottenham over the last few years.
Oh, absolutely. So. That's good. So always good when you have good players in your team. You should make sure, first and foremost, before you get active on the transfer market, that you can keep these boys, and that's what obviously Tottenham could do over the years, and that's for sure a part of the success they have in the moment.
Fantastic. Okay, Carl Markham, followed by Ian from TalkSport, and if those guys in the attendees who want to ask questions in the breakout start putting their hands up, I'll promote you at the end of this section. So, Carl, first of all.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Jürgen. We've done Joel. I'm just wondering about the other injuries you've had. Any chance of any of those coming back? Shaqiri, Milner, Keita?
Naby, maybe. Naby was yesterday involved in the extended warming up, I would say. So there's another session today. We will see how he reacts, and then we will have to make a decision about that. With the others, no one else.
Okay. With Naby, he seems to be just really lucky with these little knocks. He just interrupts his rhythm, his flow. He doesn't seem to be able to get a run in the team. I mean, I guess that you've looked at the reasons for that, but when are we likely to see the best of him? Does he need a long run in the team?
Naby is in the team. Naby has no rhythm, that's the truth. But because of different things during now, since we started the season again, and that obviously doesn't help performance-wise. And then you play a game, and we have only 2 days between the games, and then you have to make a decision. Is he ready? But you cannot whatever you do in the rehab process, you cannot replace the proper football training, and we don't have a lot of football training because of the number of games we have. Makes it difficult. So then the boys start playing again, and then obviously that was the case at Midtjylland. Everybody who saw Naby Keita playing in his absolute best moments knows that was obviously not his best moment, normal and explainable with the lack of rhythm, but still still obvious, and so now we had to make a little step back again with him. It's not too serious. That's why he's in training again. But we will see. But there's nobody's in doubt about Naby's qualities. But when you are injured, then you need to be a little bit lucky that you don't get kind of a re-injury, because with intensity stuff like this, he didn't have that luck, and so we try to be careful as we can. But yeah, and still do exactly the same. So we just try to consider the individual situation of the boys and make then decisions if they're ready to play or not. And then sometimes it works out, sometimes not. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. And final question in the open section before we go to the embargo, from Ian from TalkSport.
Hi Jürgen, how are you?
Good. And you?
Not too bad. I just wanted to ask you, it's one question but in two really. First of all, styles of play, very different Spurs style of play to yours. Yours is very attacking, very exciting. Spurs can be the sit back and just want to hit teams on the counter attack. So how do you account for that tomorrow? And are you surprised at how well Spurs are doing? I mean, they finished a lot of points behind you last season, and they seem to have made up a lot of ground very quickly. Are you surprised at that?
And that's not really funny that you asked me about the last season. So we had obviously some injuries, and we didn't lose a lot of points yet. But we lost some games. That's, I think, somehow normal in the situation we are. But we are not. We are still level with a few clubs in the league. I'm not surprised about the Tottenham development, and the style of play, I'm not sure about what you said. Now, I see a lot of similarities with us, to be honest, in the way they set it up, and the way they build up. They play football, actually. You are right, they are not bothered to sit back on top of that and defend the result and go for counter-attacks, but that's not the only strength of Tottenham. That's probably, if you only read newspapers about Tottenham games, then that could be your impression. But if you watch their games, then you see that they have a proper football side and play real football. You see now Kane dropping in probably in a way Bobby Firmino did it. Then the two quick wingers, right and left. And to defend Kane in these areas is really difficult. Then proper, a very offensive midfielder, like a second 10 if you want, with Ndombele or Lo Celso. Then two physically really strong midfielders, but football-wise strong as well. Højbjerg and Sissoko, and so that's football what they play. That's not only counter-attacking. You cannot be top of the league with just counter-attacking, and that's why I just see what I see, and what I see is unfortunately pretty good.